Greetings. I'm Frederick Riddle here with another Christian news and views. And this is episode 173, and this is Wednesday. And yesterday I talked about the War Powers Act, which AOC is trying to use against the president. Not going to go anywhere. But today we're going to look at what I believe happened. And I'm going to leave it up to you to draw the conclusions from all this, but let's get right into it. We've all been watching the news, hoping to get an idea just what happened. As is common with liberal television, you have to listen between the lines to get the truth. It takes a skill. It took me a lot of years to get to the point, and I don't get it right all the time. So it takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of effort to actually listen to them and to see what is really being said. Now, people are claiming that a top secret assessment somehow made its way into the hands of CNN, and that it says only limited damage was done. Well, first of all, we're talking about an top secret assessment. Top secret tends to mean it's top. It means way up here. It means that if you take that information and deliver it to somebody else, you're in the government and you take that and pass it on to somebody else, you can get in some serious trouble. Now, I know there's always things being passed around from here to there, but we're talking about some information that made its way from the highest echelons of government into the hands of CNN within hours. Now, that sounds a little fishy to begin with, I think. Secondly, why CNN? That's a television network that really doesn't have that much of a following anymore. That's my understanding. I would have picked somebody with a more credible, like Fox or somebody like that, that is well respected and has a reach. So I fail to believe that our security is that weak in the very first place. Top secret information is within hours in the hands of CNN. Not going to happen. That means that the person literally had to be in the meeting, seen or handled the information, walked out of the meeting, communicated to CNN that they had something they wanted to sell to them. They don't give this information away for free. It's a money-making idea there. So, as an author, I would call this whole description a great piece of fiction. So let's remember, these were not ordinary bombs. These were bunker busting bombs. That means they go through the strictest, the most hardened bunker sites. My allergy is still there, as you can tell. Goes through the strictest bunker sites. That's why they call bunker busting, by the way. Now, since I referred to this as being a great piece of fiction in the first place, I thought I would share my imagination with you, draw a picture using my imagination, and then you think about that, and then you apply that. Who are you going to believe? You're going to believe on news media that lies on a regular basis. You're going to believe the Trump administration, who is accused of being lying, but every time they try to prove it, and they get down to brass tacks and try to prove it, it's really doesn't stand up to inspection. So who are you going to believe? So here it is. So much for the facts, which you can get at multiple sources. But you have a better, I'm sorry, but you have a better source, my imagination. Think of it this way: an elaborate security system to protect your nuclear program exists, and it requires several steps. The first is getting past that tough-minded secretary. But before we get to that, just think of all the different securities, the winding tunnel, the security doors have to be able to withstand pressure up to a certain amount, things of this nature. All sorts of imaginative security. And then we get to the very first door that enters into that tunnel. And sitting behind that door at his desk is a very tough-minded secretary. He's been there for years. His single task is to protect access to the subterranean tunnel system. To get into it, you must go through this man, and he takes his job seriously. His face wears a perpetual frown from years of facing down intruders who wanted to have access to his tunnel. Now, some of those intruders had come with sophisticated planes, firing sophisticated missiles. But at his fingertips, he had a computer and he had a screen, and he could see all those planes and everything, and he could literally send off missiles and so forth outside the door, and he could destroy or redirect any enemy bombs. Now today he's sitting at his desk, and before him on the screen, he can see the night sky, which only moments ago had been clear, but now he's, oh wait, what? Where do all those planes come from? The whole sky is full of planes. And then he stiffens and opens his mouth to speak. Before ever one word comes out, the door blows open, followed by a missile with the name "Too Late" on the side of it. The last thing he sees is that missile entering into the tunnel system that he had protected for decades. He never hears the explosion itself. Anybody within that hardened tunnel system is instantly blown away as the explosive power drives through. It and other missiles obliterate the entire tunnel system. Back in Washington, D.C., in their command center, the president, vice president, and others have front row seats watching the whole thing. At first, there's absolute silence as the awesome power is seen. And then suddenly, in that silence, came the cheering. Now, that was my imagination at work. But it is far closer to reality than any leaked information shown on CNN. I don't have any access to the government to know how accurate my description was. I doubt very much that a missile knocks on a door. They just seem fitting. But the thing is this, that we live in a world where telling the truth doesn't always benefit, doesn't always prove convenient. to liberals telling the truth. They like to say they tell the truth, but it's so wrapped. It's actually lies wrapped up in a little bit of truth just to make it seem, palatable. And then it leaves it up to us to try to figure out, take, strip away the this and that, and get down to the real truth. And sometimes you can't get there because there isn't any. You have to look and look and search a variety of different places. But the truth of the matter is that the whole idea that a top secret analysis, which you would not want anybody outside your government circle to know about, military, political, it doesn't matter who or what they are. That is essential security. And if it's possible for that information to get from point A to point B within hours, that's not security. And that is something that has to be dealt with. I don't believe it happened. CNN wants us to believe it happened, that somehow they got their information right away. They got somebody, way up in the Trump administration who actually works for them. Well, that person's a traitor to begin with, if such a person exists. I doubt it. But that would be what I would call them, a traitor. I don't care who it is that they are selling the information to. They don't have the right to make that decision as to whether they should sell it or not, or who to sell it to, or any of that. That belongs to the government, and that's where it should be. I just don't think it happened. And there's so many different security things that would have to fall apart for that to happen. I think that CNN, a reporter or something, maybe got hold of somebody who's in a lower echelon position, who maybe saw a version that suggested that way down, instead of up here where top secret is, they're way down here where it's broader. You get all sorts of information, good, bad, and ugly. And that's what I think happened, is that somebody down here saw something, plucked it out, and then marketed it to CNN. And it's pure fiction. But in any case, I would suggest to celebrate. This was a victory. This was a win. And by the way, if they didn't completely destroy it, although I find that hard to believe, with that bunker busting bombs are really awesome. If it was somehow possible that something survived, they can always go back and revisit. Sometimes you get a resort, and you go to that resort and you like it, and you go back later on and enjoy it again. Well, in this case, maybe we decided, you know what, we kind of enjoyed our stay there. Let's go visit that again, see how things are. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I used my imagination rather than facts. That's because rightfully so, there should not be any facts out there that you and I can really grasp. We might want to, and depending on your place in life, you may need to. But the government has a greater need. And so I would think that I think my imagination may be way off, or it may be spot on. So in any case, I hope you've enjoyed it. And by the way, I hope you subscribe to my channel, TR Independent Books. And I always try to inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. That's my goal in everything I do. And you're the judge as to whether I do that. You have a great day. Hope to see you in the next episode.